super stoked to be involved with the Sunday Time Gin Lifestyle Awards. Did I say that right? Mainly because it's going to expose me to a lot of gins that I didn't even know existed. And of course, meet people in the industry who can grow my knowledge. Already, like the bearded gin guy has taught me things about gin that I didn't know, you know? I thought gin was gin.
How's it, guys? Welcome to the second installment of my gin judging experience and thoughts on awards. Okay, so first off, I know you guys are here to see what my top 10 highest scored gins were in the awards, but before we do that, I kind of have to just explain myself. So first of all, one of the points I have to mention is that tasting gin in this particular way is very unnatural. For argument's sake, nobody's going to go home and taste 55 different gins, all neat and with a little bit of tonic over the period of about 5 hours. I just don't see that happening. I don't do it that way, and I don't think anyone else really is going to do it that way. I personally normally do a review over like 2 weeks where I have an idea of tasting the spirit neat, sometimes on a very sober palate when I wake up before I brush my teeth. I have some gin, and then I'll have some gin after some salty brine meat. I mean, the weather changes your palate, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, whether you're sick or you've got a little bit of flu or there's a bit of sinus in the air. Everything can change your palate or affect your palate. So I want to get a broader idea of what this gin actually tastes like for me. I want to sit down with it with a tall gin and tonic. I want to have it over ice neat. I want to play around with garnishes, even though I'm not a big fan. I mean, that's really kind of the way that you're going to know that you like this gin or not. So what happens in the judging, as you guys know, is we get the neat spirit to taste blind. So we don't know what we're tasting. We write our scores down, we add some tonic, we write another score down, and then we get shown the bottle, and then we have to judge the packaging. So when you look at these top 10 top judged gins by the Bearded Gin Guy, just remember that 20 of those 60 points were for packaging and logo. That is a big chunk when we're judging the spirit. I also think that there's no way that you can have 55 gins in a row and not experience some sort or form of palate fatigue. Surely if you're having a 43% spirit and you're having them so close in succession and so many of them, your palate is going to be affected. Also, the fact that they were giving us classic gins and very punchy herbal bold gins, which are obviously my favorite, you'll see that by the top 10, as well as some compound sugared artificially flavored gins in between, it was very hard to really judge them against each other, if that makes any sense. So a very big mistake I made this year is that I actually drank all the gin instead of just tasting it. All the other judges were tasting and spitting out. I actually drank most of the gin, especially on the first day. About 2 hours after I got back from the judging, my tongue felt too big for my mouth. So I don't know why that is. I don't know if it is because specifically I drank everything and I ingested it and therefore it was affecting my body in some sort of way. Now I know I've spoken about this before and I normally tell you guys about all sorts of things that are put in gin that don't belong there. I think I kind of got an experience firsthand of what that could do to you, and the bottom line is it's not safe for human consumption. You have the right to know where it comes from, who it's made by, and what's inside it. So if you're not sure, rather leave it on the shelf. You have the right to know what's inside your gin. The 10 gins I'm about to show you are my personal highest scored gins in that particular judging. Bear in mind there were only 75 South African gins at that particular judging. There were a lot of gins that I would have liked to have seen there, and there are a few gins that I consider to be in my personal top 10, which I'll release a little bit later, but only 75 South African gins entered and about 35 international gins. Someone did ask me what gins would I have liked to have seen there. Now, I'm not going to name names particularly, but I will say that there are fantastic distilleries around South Africa who are not even entering these competitions because they're not interested in competing in a space where anything seems to go. Okay, so you're here for the gin. Here it is. My personal top 10 highest scored gins in the gin judging. Okay, that's enough. So there you have it. Those are the 10 gins that I scored the highest in a blind tasting. Bear in mind, 20 points were for packaging. That played a very big role. In other words, if a spirit was rated highly, but it had bad packaging, it might not have ended up in the top 10. Similarly, if a spirit was bad and it had really good packaging, it got higher points. So this was a tough competition. It was more of a lifestyle gin that we were trying to choose and trying to look at it through the eyes of a consumer. And something I've heard so often is people saying that they buy the prettiest bottle. My advice to you is do a little bit of research before you go to the shops and make a list of some of the ones that you see have a social media footprint or have been reviewed highly by reputable people. So until next time, guys, happy ginning and thanks for making me your spirits guide. Oh yeah, one more thing. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell and share.